Veyne showed a keenness for playing Shakespearean characters. After minor roles in Macbeth and The Merchant of Venice, he was finally rewarded with the lead in Robert Huyton's production of Richard III.
I absolutely adore Shakespeare, whoever he might be. In fact, I've just been reading a book by a chap called Justin Fellows, in which he attempts to prove once and for all that Christopher Marlowe was in fact William Shakespeare. And I'll tell you something, after all these years, Maddie, even I am still not sure whether Shakespeare was Marlowe or Marlowe was Shakespeare.
I know. Our literary history can be so perplexing at times. I've never got over the fact that George Eliot was a woman.
Something that tells me something happened today. Bella, did something happen today? Something that made you change your mind about something?
No.
Bella, look me in the eye. Your husband! Tell me that nothing happened. Tell me, Bella!
No.
Your first marriage didn't work out, did it?
No.
Did you love her?
Of course I loved the bitch. I used to bone her, didn't I?
Then, what went wrong?
I don't know. The cow got it into her head that I was having some affair. I can't even remember. She decided to have her revenge. Hell hath no fury. She decided to get her revenge by spending all of my money on herself. She suddenly developed a taste for designer clothing and footwear, exotic perfumes and jewellery. We had accounts at Asprey's, Van Cleef & Arpels, Tiffany's, the West End, New York. You know where these places are, the kind of money we're talking about. That bitch wiped me out.
I understand she left you for a store detective.
One night, soon after we got married, I came downstairs from our bedroom and I found Veyne dancing around our living room with his what's-it tucked in between his legs. Well, I found it a bit odd, but then again I had married an actor, so I let it slip. But then there were the strange phone calls in the middle of the night from young men. Well, I was very young, didn't suspect anything at all. Well, I know now.
Veyne has always insisted that he's a top crumpet bumper, but in reality, he's most likely a bisexual. And in 1967, he was arrested for cottaging. Cottaging was very popular among actors in the 60s. One only has to look at the likes of Guinness and Gielgud, Peter Wyngarde, Wilfrid Bramble to realise that it was all the rage in those days. Veyne insisted that he was mugged, but the police were having none of this, and he was charged with gross misconduct in a public lavatory. Many are of the opinion that you swing both ways.
Rubbish! Where did you hear that nonsense from?
Your ex-wife, for one, was absolutely certain of it.
Well, of course she'd say that, wouldn't she? The old cow's got it in for me. She'd do anything to tarnish my reputation.
We also looked at your gross misconduct charge.
What can one say about Veyne? Well, he was the consummate actor. He had it all. He had the diction, he had the looks. His Lear was the performance to end all others. And he gave a great blowjob.
I was in a West End toilet, simply doing what a man has to do on occasions like that. The man in the next cubicle wanted some toilet tissue. I simply stood on the seat and passed him some tissue over the parapet.
But you claim you were mugged.
Oh, let's not go into all of that now. It's such a long time ago. Why do you keep harping on about this homosexualism? I suppose it's a sign of the times. But I will tell you one thing, Maddie. I almost had a close encounter with a cross-dresser in a darkened, rather seedy Soho club at one time, but it was the kind of mistake any man could make, even you yourself. It's only when I got close and felt the stubble, so as you can see, it was a good to honest mistake.
Gideon likes to put it out that he's a ladies' man. And this is what a publicist wrote about him a few years ago. Sir Gideon has probably bedded over 4,000 women in his lifetime, making him one of Hollywood's leading coxmen. Conquests are rumored to include such screen beauties as Sophia Loren, Glenda Jackson, and Peggy Ashcroft. Can you believe that?